Welcome here to TalkFCB and welcome back here to the channel, guys. And coming up today in the roundup is certainly some interesting news regarding transfers, of course, on the subject of Antoine Griezmann and also Gianluigi Buffon. Some interesting things there to discuss. We're also going to have the latest on the international friendlies that took place last night, where Messi was in action for Argentina and Suárez was in action for Uruguay. All of that and a bit more as well. It's coming right up. Let's do this. But I want to start right here and right now with our striker search this summer. And I want to start first and foremost by discussing a headline and a big cover, their usual covers here, with a brand new transfer target, according to Sport, Marcus Rashford. They came out with this cover just a day or so ago, and it was actually there citing Marcus Rashford of Manchester United and of England of another Plan B option for Barcelona this summer. As we've heard many times with many different players, there's so many Plan Bs in there. Even MD is saying right now that Christian Stuani, of course, of the relegated Girona, he's an option this summer for Barcelona. But for me, once again here from Sport, this is another one of those reports that you can cast aside, because I can guarantee you right now that we're not going to sign Marcus Rashford this summer. We're probably not even interested in the slightest of signing Marcus Rashford, because I believe right here and now we have to address the elephant in the room, because so many of us are actually thinking about it, so many of us have a very similar theory, and this is what I believe regarding Antoine Griezmann, because, quite frankly, over the last few weeks, it has been very eerily silent in the Spanish media regarding Griezmann to Barcelona. Very quiet over the last few weeks, with virtually nothing printed about the possible signing. Then there's Enrique Cerezo, Atlético Madrid president. He comes out and says nobody from Barcelona has contacted us about signing Antoine Griezmann this summer. And then, of course, just over the past day or so, we hear from Antoine Griezmann himself, who says, I know where I'm going to be playing next season. And I may be completely wrong on the theory you're about to hear, but here's what I think is basically happened over the last few weeks and what is going to happen in the weeks to come. Because we know, according to reports, apparently talks began between Griezmann and Barcelona not just recently, but several months ago. And we know basically that Antoine Griezmann would be willing this summer to take a pay cut in order to join Barcelona. He would actually earn less than he earns now at Atlético Madrid in order to join Barca this summer, around 17 million euros per year in his salary. We also know for sure that Antoine Griezmann does want to leave Atlético Madrid this summer. He's come out, officially announced it, so have the club. They've said Griezmann wants to leave this summer. And I just think, why would you do that? Why would you go ahead publicly to the entire world? Why would you announce that you wanted to leave if you didn't have anything concrete already on the table for the coming summer? And then you ask, well, why haven't we heard anything? Why haven't we heard anything at all recently in the Spanish media about Antoine Griezmann? And why do Atlético Madrid, why does their president say nobody at Barca has contacted them so far? Well, the simple, straightforward answer to that would be, we don't have to contact Atlético Madrid. Barcelona, at any point this summer, don't necessarily need to talk to Atlético Madrid about the transfer of Antoine Griezmann. Because let's remember here, on July the 1st, the second that clock hits and it turns July, Antoine Griezmann's release clause at Atlético Madrid becomes 120 million euros and no more. And on that date, Barcelona could, if they so wish, deposit that money to the Spanish Federation, to La Liga, and bang. In that moment, the moment the money is deposited, that 120 million euros, Antoine Griezmann is free from his contract in Atlético Madrid and he can join Barcelona, who will have paid his release clause. We don't technically need to agree anything with Atlético Madrid. We don't even need to talk to them if we plan on paying that full 120 million euros this summer. And then, of course, you're saying, well, still, why is nothing being said in the Spanish media? And I just believe, deep down, right now the feeling is, they know this deal is pretty much done. They know deep within that Griezmann seems to have agreed to join Barcelona. Barcelona have identified him as the man this summer to be the marquee signing, and they kind of know that. What they're not going to do, though, is for 3 weeks now, until July the 1st, quite a long time to wait, they're not going to be saying, Griezmann's coming, Griezmann's coming, Griezmann's coming. You know why? Because they'll get boring. They will not sell as many papers as if they're recycling transfer targets. They got Rashford on the front, they've got Rodrigo on the front, they've got Neymar on the front. The variation, the difference in topics, you know full well they are going to sell more papers by doing that than repeatedly saying Griezmann is coming, the deal is done. They're not going to sell papers doing that, so they are clearly here going through the motions, recycling their targets, plucking names out of nowhere, because I believe deep down all these plan Bs, they mean nothing, because quite clearly Barcelona seem to have identified their plan A as Antoine Griezmann, and on July the 1st It could well happen. And then, of course, onto another interesting story regarding our pursuit, apparently, of Gianluigi Buffon. Somebody, of course, who was released from his contract at Paris Saint-Germain at the end of the season. He is going to be a free agent this summer after they did not choose to extend their contract there with the legendary Buffon. And Sky in Italy have come out over the past few days and they've said Barcelona have offered for Buffon to become their second goalkeeper next season when Jasper Cillessen does depart this summer, as he's expected to do. Buffon will be brought in as Marc-Andre ter Stegen's number 2 for the coming campaign. And that for me right there was a big story. Of course, it generated a lot of interest. Buffon is certainly a household name in the world of football and has been now for absolutely ages, no doubt about it. And we're talking here, let's not doubt it for any single second, we're talking about a legend of the game, a legendary goalkeeper for his country, for his clubs. He has been at the top of his game, sensational for so long. But at the end of the day, again, another elephant in the room here, he's 41 years old. 41 years old, Gianluigi Buffon, and still, you have to consider there, that is extremely old. Even for a goalkeeper, he's considered to be getting on. And I just think, do we want to go down that road? Do we want to sign somebody there clearly in the twilight of their career? Or should we be going down the route of promoting from within, young Iñaki Peña coming up, somebody who can learn from ter Stegen? Yes, Buffon is a great character, he'll come in, he will certainly add leadership, but he would be on high wages, no doubt about that. And I just think right now, the fact that nobody in the Spanish media has actually followed up this story with anything concrete, I think right now it's Buffon's agent generating interest. Because you know full well, if you're a free agent, you link with Barcelona, suddenly that's going to make other clubs sit up and go, well, should we be interested in Buffon too? It's going to generate interest. It's just raising that profile there of your client. And I think right now, that's all that's happening. Buffon is a name that's going to be bandied around. He's been linked to Barca, he's been linked to the Premier League, he's been linked to China, he's been linked to Italy. Every single league right now, of course, has potential suitors for this man this summer. But I think right now, it's simply paper talk, not much substance to it. That could change, of course, but at least right now, Barcelona are keeping their options very close to their chest. Cillessen, of course, remains at the club, and Buffon, at least right now, doesn't seem to be an option. But now, away from the transfer front and to Argentina and Lionel Messi, who were in action last night in an international friendly against Nicaragua. Messi played 45 minutes in the first half last night in that game, and he really did play very well, as the entire Argentina side did. They won 5-1 overall on the night, and it was a very good game to build that confidence, build that togetherness ahead of Copa America. Lionel Messi himself in that first half scored twice in 2 minutes. The first of those goals was an absolute stunning goal, typical trademark Lionel Messi, picking the ball up inside the box, weaving his way around the defenders, beating one, beating two, beating three, before firing his finish past the goalkeeper. A really good goal there. Lautaro Martinez scored twice in the second half before Roberto Pereira put the icing on the cake, before Argentina did concede the only goal of the game there for Nicaragua in the final closing minutes. And there was also, of course, action for Uruguay and Luis Suárez. They were playing Panama in a friendly, which they did end up winning by 3-0. Luis Suárez came on in that game following his surgery, of course, coming back the first time that he's played since he had that surgery on his knee injury. He played 30 minutes, and he also was on the score sheet, scoring a stunning free kick just 5 minutes after coming on. And I think they're looking at Suárez just on the physical front. He did look in good shape. He looked good. His body looked good. He certainly looked in good physical condition. And it's going to be really interesting to see this summer for Uruguay, in a good team they have at Copa America, how he performs. Is he going to raise his level? Is he really going to try and compete? Does he know now that he's going to have competition next season? It's going to be fascinating to see how Suárez and Uruguay get on. But wins there for Uruguay and for Argentina ahead of what should be a very eventful Copa America. And so that there, guys, is the latest news. I wanted to bring you there my thoughts on the Antoine Griezmann situation, because a lot of people are wondering exactly what is going on right now with our striker search. And also there, the latest on Gianluigi Buffon, and the internationals will keep on coming now, and I'll keep you updated with everything that's going on. And if you guys are interested in those upcoming tournaments this summer, I have now completely finished my ultimate guides. We've got the Copa America, we've got the CONCACAF Gold Cup, and uploaded today the African Cup of Nations 2019. All of those 3 ultimate guides can be found on the channel. Thank you very much for the support that you've given me on those. I hope that I've covered your country, and if I haven't, believe me, if there's a tournament coming up soon, I'll do that too. Thank you, as always, for joining me, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and of course, I'll be seeing you soon. But until then, as always, Visca El Barça.